Watch this, so you don't make the mistake I made." Amaka was on her knees, crying so hard her voice broke. Her hands shook as she begged the police to forgive her, but no one listened. Forgiveness could not change what had already happened. She thought she was fighting for her respect. She thought she was saving her marriage. She believed she was protecting herself, but she was wrong. Someone had lied to her, and she believed it. Anger took over her heart, and she made a choice she could never take back. When the truth finally came out, it crushed her. Her world fell apart. The man she loved was gone, and everything she thought she was holding on to slipped away. This is not just Amaka's story, it is a warning. Many homes have been destroyed because of lies. Many marriages have been broken because of suspicion. Many lives have been ruined because of anger. Amaka's mistake was acting too fast before knowing the truth, and her regret came too late. This African story will break your heart, but it will also open your eyes. So before we go deeper, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video. Because what Amaka later found out will shock you. And when you hear it, you will understand why a single wrong decision can destroy everything you love. Tears slipped quietly from Amaka's eyes as she sat on the cold floor of her prison cell. She hugged her knees tightly, her back pressed against the wall. The iron bars stood before her like a cage, and though other women murmured around her, she heard nothing. Her tears dripped onto the dusty floor. She whispered to herself, her voice breaking, "How did I lose everything? How did I destroy the man who loved me?" The memories came rushing back, not of anger, not of lies, but of the sweetness she once had. She saw Jude in her mind smiling, that gentle smile that always melted her heart. She remembered their evenings on the veranda, sharing roasted corn and palm wine, laughing at little jokes only they understood. Jude would hold her hand, rubbing his thumb gently over her fingers, as though to remind her she was his forever. "Amaka," he once said, looking into her eyes, "you are not just my wife. You are my peace, my home." She had blushed that day, lowering her eyes. "And you, Jude, you are my crown. The world may laugh, but with you beside me, I lack nothing." They had danced together at family gatherings, their steps clumsy but full of joy. Neighbors admired them, saying theirs was the kind of love others prayed for. Jude never raised his voice at her, never failed to provide. He cherished her, and she cherished him. Amaka pressed her palms to her face in the cell, her sobs shaking her body. Why didn't I hold on to that love? Why did I let doubt take it away? Her cellmate, an older woman, shifted closer. "You cry every day. Was your husband cruel?" Amaka's voice cracked as she replied, "Cruel? No. He was the best man I ever knew. He gave me love, honor, everything I needed. And still, I destroyed him with my own hands." The woman stared at her in shock, but Amaka was no longer seeing the prison walls. Her tears carried her deeper into memory, past the sweetness, toward the shadow that ruined it all. Because after love came the whispers, and those whispers would change everything. Back then, she was a young banker, and her husband, Jude, was a proud civil engineer. They were the couple everyone admired. Jude was hardworking, intelligent, and gentle in his ways. Amaka was graceful, beautiful, and kind. Together, they looked like a perfect match. Their mornings were filled with warmth. Jude would leave early for the construction site, his helmet in one hand his kiss planted on Amaka's forehead before stepping out. She would smile and remind him, "Don't forget to eat," and he would laugh, promising to return with roasted corn or suya for her in the evening. Their evenings were even sweeter. After long hours at the bank, Amaka would come home exhausted, only to find Jude already in the kitchen helping with dinner. Sometimes he sang while stirring the pot, his voice off-key, but filled with love. They often ate together, laughing about their day, making little plans for the future children, a bigger house, and maybe even traveling abroad one day. But then came Sarah. Sarah was Amaka's closest friend, almost like a sister. She visited often, admired Jude openly, and always praised Amaka for being lucky. "You don't know what you have," she would say with a smile that carried something Amaka couldn't see at first. Slowly, Sarah's words began to change. She no longer just admired Jude, she planted doubts. One evening, while they shared a meal, Sarah leaned closer and whispered, "Amaka, are you sure Jude is as perfect as you think? Men like him, they can't be satisfied with one woman." At first, Amaka laughed it off. She trusted Jude completely. But Sarah kept returning with stories claiming she saw him talking to another woman, insisting he stayed out later than he should. And little by little, Amaka's peace was shaken. She started watching Jude more closely, questioning his late hours, wondering if Sarah was right. The marriage that was once filled with laughter now carried an unseen shadow. And Amaka, sitting in that prison, realized too late how the lies had poisoned her heart. Slowly, the neighbors began to notice a change. Jude and Amaka, once the couple everyone admired, no longer moved together with the same joy. Their laughter that once filled the evenings had grown quiet. One evening, Mama Nene, the elderly neighbor, called Amaka aside. Her voice carried both love and concern. "Amaka, my child, what is going on with you and Jude? I no longer see the light in your eyes. You used to glow whenever his name was mentioned. Tell me the truth." Amaka forced a smile, her heart heavy with unspoken thoughts. She looked down, avoiding Mama Nene's searching eyes. "Nothing, Mama. We are fine." But even Jude himself was no longer the same. At his place of work, his close friend Chuka pulled him aside during a lunch break. "Jude, my brother, what is going on with you? You're no longer yourself. You look troubled, and your mind is far away. Talk to me." Jude gave a tired smile, shaking his head. "I'm fine, Chuka. Just work." But Chuka wasn't convinced. He had known Jude for years, and he could see the heaviness that Jude tried to hide. News travels fast. Soon, Jude's mother heard whispers that her son's joy was fading. One evening, she called him on the phone, her voice both firm and tender. "Jude, my son, I have been hearing things. People say you are no longer the man you used to be. Even your laughter has changed. What is happening in your home? Talk to me before it is too late." Jude sighed deeply, leaning against the wall of his office, his heart heavy. He loved his mother, but how could he explain what even he did not fully understand? "Mama, don't worry. Everything is fine." But his voice betrayed him. His mother could hear the strain, the pain hidden beneath the words. It was a Friday evening. The sky outside was painted with the soft glow of sunset. But inside Amaka's heart, there was no peace. She sat on the living room sofa, her hands clasped tightly, her mind racing with Sarah's words. The door creaked open. Jude stepped in, tired but smiling, his shirt slightly dusty from the construction site. In his hands was a small nylon bag. "Amaka, "Look what I got for you, your favorite suya," he said cheerfully. But Amaka didn't smile. Her eyes were cold, watching him with suspicion. Jude walked closer, bending to kiss her cheek, but she turned her face away. He froze, confused. "What is it? Are you upset?" Her voice cracked as she stood up, tears already burning her eyes. "Stop pretending, Jude. Tell me the truth. Where were you today? Who were you with?" Jude blinked, shocked. "Amaka, I was at the site. You know that." He held up his dust-covered files as proof, but she wasn't listening. Sarah's voice rang in her mind. "I saw him at a restaurant, sitting close, laughing like lovers." Amaka's chest heaved. "Don't lie to me. Sarah saw you. She saw you with her. Do you think I'm a fool?" Jude dropped the files on the table and stepped forward, hurt flashing in his eyes. "Amaka, listen to me. Sarah is lying. I don't know why she's doing this, but I swear before God, there's no other woman. You are my wife, my peace." But his calm words only fueled her anger. The neighbors peeped through windows, whispers filling the air. Elder Chike, who lived next door, knocked loudly on the wall and called out, "Amaka, Jude, please, settle it peacefully." But his words were drowned by the noise inside. Then came the silence, a sharp, terrifying silence. Moments later, a scream pierced the air. Amaka's voice, raw and broken. "No, Jude, wake up! Please, don't leave me!" Doors swung open. Neighbors rushed in and froze at the sight. Jude lying on the floor, blood seeping through his shirt, and Amaka holding him, shaking him, her face wet with tears. The knife clattered to the ground as she cried out, "I didn't mean it! I didn't mean it!" Her hands trembling, Amaka grabbed her phone and dialed Sarah. Within minutes, Sarah arrived, pretending to comfort her. She knelt beside Amaka and whispered, "You did the right thing. He was cheating, remember? He never deserved you." But Elder Chike, who stood in the corner, turned sharply. "Cheating? How do you know that, Sarah? Did you ever see him?" Sarah froze, her face pale. The room fell into an uneasy silence. Neighbors looked from one face to another, their eyes narrowing with suspicion. Chike pressed on, his voice heavy. "Because I spoke to his colleagues this evening. Jude was at the site all day. He never stepped into any restaurant. Sarah, you lied." Amaka's body stiffened. Her eyes darted to Sarah, disbelief painted across her face. "What? What is he saying? Sarah, tell them it's not true." Tears spilled down Sarah's cheeks as the truth unraveled. I made it up, Amaka. I was jealous. I wanted what you had. I never thought it would end like this." Amaka let out a cry, so piercing it shook everyone in the room. She clutched Jude's lifeless body tighter, wailing, "You lied? You lied to me? And now he's gone because of me." The neighbors watched in stunned horror. In that moment, the truth had finally come out, but it came too late. Then the wail of sirens filled the street. Police officers stormed in, forcing her to her feet. The knife lay on the ground, stained with blood. One officer read her rights as handcuffs clicked around her wrists. "Please," Amaka begged, "don't take me. I didn't mean it." But her words fell on deaf ears. The crowd parted as she was dragged into the waiting van, her face wet with tears, her cries haunting the night. Back in prison, she sat on the cold floor of her cell, trembling, her hands buried in her hair. Memories crashed over her like waves, her happy marriage, Sarah's lies, Jude's pleading voice. She pressed her palms against her ears, as if she could silence the torment. but the truth only grew louder inside her head. When she finally stood before the judge, her voice cracked as she pleaded, "I never wanted him dead. I was deceived. I beg this court, have mercy." The courtroom went silent. Then came the verdict. Bail granted. Amaka fell to her knees, weeping. She was not free, not yet, but for the first time since her arrest, there was a faint glimmer of hope. As she was led out of the court, flashes from cameras blinded her, whispers filled the air, and in the distance, Sarah stood watching. Their eyes met, and Amaka's heart sank. Was that guilt on Sarah's face, or something darker? Now Amaka is out on bail, but the world outside is not ready to forgive her. And Sarah, the friend whose lie started it all, still lurks in the shadows. What do you think will happen next? Can Amaka ever prove her innocence? Or will Sarah's secret destroy her completely? Share your thoughts in the comments. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story because the next part will shock you.